Hello, testing. Well, don't jinx it, because every time you say that, we end up having something happen. Evening. Yeah, a couple of months. Then we took a little bit of a break. Well, that's that. See, this is what I said. Um, sure, I will do my best. Basically, as we started this podcast, it was originally done on Twitch to begin with, to test it out. We took a break, came back. We've The way the format normally goes is we're going to probably go back, review one of the videos, talk about his previous videos, then talk about stuff that we've cooked, and then we've got some topics. But since this is the summer, um, this one's all about summer foods, so salads, barbecues, ice cream, stuff like that. So generally, going forward too, at some point in time, you may see a third person on here, somebody that we might have got from YouTube or we might have got from Twitch or something to do with cooking for an interview.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh,
And now I should be able to be heard. I found out what the problem was.
you had mute, didn't you?
Uh, well, I had mute, but apparently it switched everything around, so my mic is now the background sounds, and the name for the background sounds is now my mic. There was the problem.
See, there you go. All you had to do was not jinx it.
At least I hope I could be heard now. I should be able to be heard now.
I don't know. We got to ask the person in chat. Text her.
There we can.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So right then, it's Sunday at the end of the week. So what have you done this week, Buzzer? Anything new?
I really haven't been cooking at all over the last couple of weeks because I'm getting a new kitchen put in.
Oh
So
yeah, that's
this
right.
week I spent the entire thing breaking it down, lifting floor tiles and stuff like that. So didn't I just really wasn't in the mood for cooking, but I did do a sweet curry last week.
Nice. What meat was the curry?
Chicken.
Uh,
You got to turn your mic up.
my mic's up all the way. Maybe it's just because I was too far back. How is this now?
This is what happens when you try not to jinx yourself. Well, while we keep going, we'll test it out to see if they can hear you any better. Or you can turn me down, one of the two. But while we're figuring that out and getting the levels just right, what have you been cooking this week?
I mean, for my videos this week, I did the what did I do? Oh, I did the air fryer wedges, and I did the pizza. Um, so the pizza I did was me. I've got lots of different ways I do pizza. Like, I like making. I've told you before. I like Detroit style pizza, like the slab pizza. But this is just, I thought for the first one I do on YouTube, I thought I'll upload me easiest version of a pizza. So I did that. Came out quite nice. The wedges, I was really surprised. That's the first time I've done air fry wedges, but it did come out really nice. And especially didn't have to part cook them or anything like that. Just made like I did when I do meat. I just made sure I made a nice marinade and I left them in there for a good amount of time.
Nice one. Well, speaking of the pizza, one of the things that most people here would probably see, they'll probably see me in asking random questions in each one of your videos, just because I sort of think if somebody who is just coming across it and they might have a question they don't want to ask, they show that you do reply to those sort of questions.
Yeah.
Um, if I wanted to take that recipe and turn it from the traditional style pizza that you had up, but make it thin and crispy, what would be the way to approach that with the dough?
So if you're following the same recipe I did there, so the base of that actually was thin and crispy, but I'm assuming you talked about like the edges because the edges do look puffed up.
Yeah, that bit.
So when I did mine, obviously I took me time with the the toppings because when I was doing it, you could see it starting to in frame by frame. You'd see the side getting a little bigger. Um, but if you want to keep the crust the same as the center, sorry, essentially, then just if you do it a bit quicker, but push your when you've got your pizza dough down, use your fingers to push indents right into the edge of the dough, and then put your fillings or your toppings, sorry, right close to the edge of the dough, which will stop it from rising up as much, and that'll give you a thin and crisp for the whole dough. So, did that answer the question?
It did. Sorry, I was sitting chatting there on mute.
See, not just me.
Well, I'm not doing this professionally, so um, but since we've done that, or since you answered that question, let's really just sort of delve in where we left off. So barbecues,
Yeah,
like that's a big thing for the summer. I know it's a big thing at least over where you are, but for me, it's not really a thing just because the weather turns on a dime pretty
yeah.
much. So what sort of stuff would you normally do in a barbecue?
So, I mean, I do the traditional stuff like everybody does with hot dogs and burgers and, stuff like that. But, I mean, I've gone, I like do a lot of different stuff now than what, like, used to get on barbecues, like, when I was younger. Like, when I was younger, or when you were younger, you'd literally only get burgers and hot dogs or maybe a piece of chicken or but I like do kebabs and everything on the barbecue now. I mean, the last year was the last time I did a barbecue, and actually made rice, bread, everything on the barbecue. Because I've got one of those pizza stones that you put in the oven, which
Oh yeah.
I'll be doing that on a future pizza video, showing you how to make like a Napoleon style, and I'll be using that. But I use that on me barbecue as well, and it was great. Just did the thing. I put my bread on there. I made a nice chia batter loaf. I put my pan of sticky rice on there. That just sat. And it's ideal for rice when you're cooking the water into it.
Oh yeah.
And because of the heat being at a certain level, um, it just works really well. So yeah, I like to do all different things. I mean, I've done me jack potatoes. I do fish on the barbecue now. But I always like to tear my stuff and marinate them. Like I love doing tandoori chicken kebabs on the barbecue. They always
Oh,
go really nice.
It's hard to beat an out tandoori chicken kebab, to be honest,
Yeah,
especially when it's on the barbecue. What I like to do if I do cook something on the barbecues, I like to do a burger. But my burger is it's it's so simple, but I think it's the nicest way. Most people will go to the supermarket and they'll buy good quality meat. I like to go to the butchers and get mines out of the butchers.
yeah,
So once I get it out of the butchers, I then like to season it one side before cooking that, and then as that one side's cooking, I season the top side, and
mm,
then once flipped, both sides are easily done. And I do a nice burger sauce. Mine's it depends what way you want it. I do a bit of ketchup, but bit of mayonnaise, maybe a wee bit of mustard through it. Just
yeah,
depend, whatever it goes. And when I brush it onto the burger, it's really really nice. But for garnish, it's just homemade or freshly grown lettuce that I have in my garden and just a red onion, raw, sliced,
yeah.
beautiful.
I
And
do.
maybe a
I
tomato.
do like onions in my burgers. I'll take onions anywhere in my burgers. I think that a burger isn't a burger unless it's got onions in it.
Well, I tend not to do it way, through the meat, but I like to have it on top. But it has to be a raw red onion. I just think if
Yeah,
with a good brioche bun, that all comes together really, really nicely.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people use the. I mean, I still prefer a sesame seed bun. And the only reason is because for me, there's a lot of variation in the different brands of brioche buns.
Yeah.
Like I got one once, and it was actually a Warburton's one. So I thought it would be alright, and my God, it was so sweet. It was like eating a burger and a piece of cake. It was that sweet.
I
And
see. Yeah, no, I couldn't do that.
yeah,
I have to get a good proper brioche bun. I always, if I find a good one, I always stick to that brand.
so yeah, that kind of put me off the brioche buns, but I do like a nice sesame seed bun.
So that's just seed bun's really good too. That's the classic. But again, I've got a bakery nearby.
Mm,
Well, and my local town. So if I'm buying good baps, I'll buy like a good flowery bap out of there.
yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, that's one thing I miss is that we don't have a bakery near here. We've got like a bun shop what's part of a post office, but they literally just sell one type of bun, which I'd never really get. But no, I mean where I used to live before, where I used to live, we had that bakery there. I used to use that all the time.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so lots of different things that you can, like I said, I was just talking about how I made bread and how I made rice. So there is a lot of different things you can do on the barbecue if you just got to judge the time. I mean, the barbecue I've got also acts as a smoker. It's quite a deep barbecue, so you can lower it down. So I am thinking like when the weather, because it's raining. It's funny enough, it's summer. But I do want to try doing a proper. You know when you see in America, and that's where they do the Texas brisket, and
Oh, they were smoked for like 3 days.
yeah, I want to do that because I've got the wood and everything in my shed. So I want to get a proper slabber because I've got an account of the wholesales and everything. So trying to go get a thing and do a proper smoked brisket because I've had it before and it's lovely, but I just want to see if I can do it myself.
Well, it'd be worth a shot. I mean, I don't really have a barbecue here, just again because it's not just not worth it for maybe 1 day a year for me. So I'm just like, maybe we'll invest in it, maybe we'll not. I'm sort of
Yeah,
50-50 on the whole thing. But when I do, if I do buy it, I just buy a disposable one. Um, Again, I never really use them that much. But when I do cook on a barbecue, I think it's either a burger or I get a nice hot dog because I like to buy the bockwurst out of Lidl, I
yeah,
think, and I'll use those and I'll just fry them up. But I'll make a lot of other stuff. In the summer, a lot of pastry stuff like sausage rolls, stuff that you could take for like a picnic.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the variety of foods for summer I did. I mean, when we had the Mrs. birthday, I didn't do a barbecue. I mean, the weather was nice enough, I could have. But I didn't. I did a buffet and I had like a fajita station and everything going, which is just as good, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I like having a barbecue, but one thing I must say, I prefer to do a barbecue in the entry weeks to summer and the latter weeks of summer. Because standing next to a barbecue when it's 32 degrees is bloody hot.
Oh yeah. Luckily, I don't have that problem. It's a case of, oh, it's one day, right? I can suffer through it for one day.
But what about so I talked about the Italian. I mean, what would you do for like your marinades and stuff for your meats and like for chicken and stuff like that?
It sort of depends. I can go a couple of different ways with it. So if I wanted to go like an Asian style feel, I would do dark soy sauce, light soy sauce, some hoisin sauce, some oyster sauce. Just put that through.
Mm.
Let it all marinate together overnight, and I'll cook that. But if I'm doing a curry one, I would do like I would have the Irish curry powder here. I would throw that in a wee bit of oil and just marinate the chicken in that
Yeah,
overnight. But maybe we with a little bit of mango chutney through it, maybe. Um, like let that marinate all overnight and then fry it up if I'm going to do like a kebab or anything like that. But mostly I do just normal kebab meat. That's some of the stuff that I do, and that's already spiced and that's already marinated overnight. So
yeah. I definitely agree with the Asian one. I've done that. I mean, it's kind of close to chasseur.
oh yeah,
It does, and it tastes. Because I've done that with the pork. I did a similar marinade with belly pork. I had a big slab of belly pork and I cut it into slices, marinating it. This was a few years ago, and that all went. That was the only thing I was actually looking forward to off the barbecue. And by the time everybody was served, because I never served myself, I always wait till everybody's. And pork had all gone. I was devastated. And we had this lovely pork, and yeah, it went before everything, just because everybody could smell it. But yeah, I think that's the thing with them as well. When you've got an Asian marinade or an Indian marinade, because the smells are just that intense.
oh yeah.
Everybody goes to them straight away.
They do, especially if you've got a little bit of MSG through it too. The MSG will obviously bring out the flavors when you're cooking it, but I like to marinate it with just less than a teaspoon through the
Yeah,
marinade. I think it brings brings everything out overnight. So
I still need to get my MSG. I made
nice.
I made a
What
chow
do you do?
mein a couple of weeks ago, and I do, and I'm like, this doesn't taste like the last one I made, and I'm using the same ingredient. I remembered I didn't have the MSG.
See, there you go. That's
So I'll be
you
honest,
know,
I worked with a Thai lady. She was like, it sat in my cupboard for months because she just gave me this packet of white powder and said, add this to your food. And I'm just like, what is it? She was like, seasoning. And I'm like,
that does not sound barbecue at all.
exactly. That's sketchy.
Here,
And
here's some white powder.
yeah, she put the thing, but then I found out after a couple of weeks, she was like, it's the secret, because she was trying to explain but struggling, and I had to get one of the other Thai women to help me. She was like, it's MSG. I was like, oh, that's MSG. But I'd had it for ages because she used to bring food in for me all the time. And it was like, you taste. And I was just eating, and the food was outstanding. And I was all like, what's your secret that you do? And that's why she brought me this white powder, but because she had very broken English, it just sounded, I was just like, what the hell is she giving me? But yeah, that's when I found out it was MSG. That was years ago though.
Oh yeah. Your thought was, did I just get like a kilo of Coke or something?
And why am I putting it in my food?
Well, it would make sense. Maybe because it gets you wired to where it's like, oh, no wonder it tastes so nice. No, I do. I always do with the MSG if I'm doing anything where I'm marinade. I just throw it. It's not even a lot. I just throw a little teaspoon in through the marinade, and it goes a long way. Especially if I'm doing UK like a UK fakeaway with chicken balls.
Mm.
Well, I think it brings out the flavor in a chicken ball, especially if I've marinated the chicken and overnight.
Yeah, it does, because I made chicken balls as well. Well, I did the chow mein because I'd forgot to order me MSG. I did the chicken balls exactly the way the chow, with the double fry, and
Oh yeah,
I made my own sweet and well, I made it for Vicky. I don't like sweet and sour sauce. But I mean, and then again, I was like, "There's something." It's the same. It was missing the MSG. I must remember to order some MSG.
when if I'm doing chicken balls, especially because it's just again it's a sort of a summer food, so it's something that I would normally take. You're just sitting outside and it's quick. It's not anything to do with like I'm not sitting preparing a roast. It's
Mm.
just something quick that you can just throw, and then you could sit outside in the good weather. You can have a bit of dipping sauce. A good sweet and sour sauce, if you can get it done right, is if you use orange squash. That
Mhm.
sort of is how most takeaways will do their sweet and sour sauce with just food coloring. I think the predominant is there's orange squash, and I think rice wine vinegar is what it is. I could be wrong. I need to look up the recipe again.
Yeah,
But
it depends. So I mean, the way I use mine is tomato ketchup, the vinegar, because that's where you get your sourness from is the vinegar. But I also
yeah,
use pineapple chunks, like a small tip, but I use the pineapple juice from that as well, and then put
I
that
would.
in.
No, that'd go really nice, and you just stick it up with a bit of corn flour.
You can. I mean, if you're using the so what I do, what I've always made it, I've actually would buy. Um, I can't remember that company what makes the tiny little pots of jam that you see in the posh cafes, but they do a ketchup,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and it's just it's more expensive, but it's a good size, but it's so bloody thick. So that's why I like using that. It has a nicer flavour because I don't like sweet and sour to begin with, unless I make it myself to a degree.
Well, you can control the level of
Yeah,
acidity with it, so
I think I don't mind the sweet. It's just some of the sweet and are just too sour for me. I don't like. I'm not keen on like. I don't like sour sweets or anything like that.
oh no, I would do the same. Like I said, with when it comes to like picky food, is what we're really talking about. Summer
Mm.
foods and picky food. I would rather do curries if I can get away with it, but if, I like to do sweet curries in the summer just because
Yeah,
I think I don't want to sit there and it's already warm outside, and then I have to have a strong hot curry, like a madras or anything like that. I'd rather go and make it with a bit of pineapple through it. So I
mm.
completely understand what you're talking about there. Coconut cream and coconut milk is how I always do mine, and it always turns
Yeah,
out the best.
yeah. I did it. When did I do that curry? I forget. Did I do it this week or did I? Yeah, I'm sure I did it Monday. Um, I did that Jamie Oliver, which is actually really good. I'm not really a fan of like celebrity chef stuff, so I don't
Oh,
think
the
it's like
curry paste.
yeah. It's normally just no any different than a regular bun, but this little jar of curry paste, it was a Madras curry paste, so I did the thing. So it was like it's quarter of a jar per person, so I made enough because I like to have curry on jack potatoes as well and different things. So I made
Oh,
enough for four. So I used the whole jar and I just added 1 tin of uh, tomato passata,
yeah.
and then I added a tin of the coconut milk, like what you said, and it was actually really, really nice. I was surprised at how nice it is, because I've used the Knorr ones before for curry pastes, and I've used Patak's curry pastes. I know a lot of the Indian takeaways, they use the Patak's as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a little on the spicy side, like for a Madras. I know what Madras is, but this was quite. But the actual flavour of it was lovely. I would definitely buy it again. Because they're actually also good as well if you want to do like a marinated chicken or something. You can use them pastes. You just add a little bit of extra oil to them, and you can, even like we used to do before, like on whole chickens, just get a handful of the paste and rub it all over the chicken, let it sit in the fridge overnight, then roast the next day, and it's lovely curry chicken. And all the juices and everything comes off it. Lovely.
I'm just looking because if I can find something close to where you live, I'm going to tell you to pick up a set of curry powder that I use. It's so nice. I mean, when you were making your curry from scratch, you were essentially using a lot of the same powders that are already in this curry powder. So
Yeah.
let me see if I can get it for you. Yeah, you can. You can get it in Tesco's. It's just McDonald's, like McDonnell. Look for that.
Okay.
It's Irish. It's from Dublin. It's really, really good. It's not that expensive. Or like 250 gram thing. You're talking about £3.50.
That's not bad.
If I'm if I'm gonna do a marinade, like a curry marinade, I'll add a little bit of oil to that. And thicken it, and that's where I'll coat the chicken through it. But it's great for doing a curry. I normally do about 3 or 4 tablespoons with a splash of splash of water to kind of thicken it. I'll throw that in, mix it through. Then I'll do a full can of coconut milk, peas, and pineapple chunks. Oddly enough, that makes a really nice sweet curry,
Yeah.
especially if you do it over. I normally don't. I normally do it with rice noodles, but it's great with just basmati rice, or because I've got diverticulitis, a high fiber one. So that would be a good high fiber rice, a whole wheat rice, is ideal. It goes really, really well. It's really, really nice, and especially if you can get it nice and sweet for a warm day. I guess it's a warm day in the summer is great.
I must admit, one of the chefs I used to work for, like long, long time ago, he always used to put sultanas and apples in his curry, and it did give it a really nice taste.
I have done sultanas. I haven't done apples through my curry though, but I have done sultanas and pineapples actually.
Well, what he used to do, he used to have on one day it would have an apple and sultana crumble, and whatever was left from the mixture that he didn't use, that's what he used to pop into his curry. So that's why he always had the curry the day after that.
Oh yeah,
because he could use it up. But it was really nice. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like the texture of like raisins or sultanas and stuff like that, but the taste of the actual curry from the fruits was lovely.
oh yeah. No, I agree. I mean, that's well. Once I've had it with the sultanas, pineapples, and peas, it's really, really, really nice. And especially if you get the coconut milk through it, makes it fantastic. Um, but that's the same thing, with the Greek style kebabs, the gyozos, with the Greek, the mint. I don't know if it's mint sauce or if it's what sort of sauce.
It's the mint yogurt.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's it. When you get, I find that's beautiful in the summer too.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I do like the I like the I forget what they're called. The koftas, the
gyozos?
lamb and mint koftas.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You
Oh, yeah,
get
no,
you get them in the kebabs as well, and other gyzos, but they're lovely. Like I love getting they're nothing I do on the barbecue, but sometimes I just getting them, cook them off, and then wrapped in like a naan with the yogurt mint and lettuce and onion, and then make just a nice summer thing. Because like I'll be honest, like I can't, as much as I like a Sunday dinner, like I haven't had one for at least 2 months because the weather's just got warmer, and I probably won't have another one again now until late September.
Oh yeah, no, I'm the same. I mean, part of me is sort of thinking I might, when I get the new kitchen in, I might do like a big Sunday roast, but it's in the summer, just not really. I'll probably come the middle of September. I'll probably start doing like stews and stuff like that again,
Yeah,
like slow cooked stews, or uh, a Scottish version of the stew would be stovies. I like stovies.
yeah,
So I would do different things like that in the winter, but in the summer, you just no, that's just way too warm. You don't want
yeah,
to be sat slaving away
yeah.
essentially.
Like July and August and me no go months for anything like dinner. I started there. Like today I just had because even though it has rain, the sun did come out and it got quite warmer, so I just had jack potato. But
Well,
I did
uh,
cook some chicken and marinating some curry powder, some extra ginger garlic, and then I fried up. So I just had some like I didn't make a curry. I just marinated the chicken.
yeah.
So I had the jack potatoes with some cheese, the chicken on top, and a bit of coleslaw. Happy with that in the summer.
Normally on a Sunday, I'll be honest, I'll just go to the chippy.
Yeah,
So, but today again, I wasn't in the mood for like anything heavy wise. I just went and got one of those half wheat breasted chicken on the bone, deep fat fried. Great.
yeah,
That's normally, but that's normally me on a Sunday anyway. I'm a bit traditional. I have to have either chicken or beef, but at the same time, I'm not going to cook it. I just no.
So speaking of something, I know like one thing that definitely changes a lot in the summer is desserts.
Definitely. I do like a good dessert in the summer. What's yours? Most people, I find they always go to the classic of like maybe a trifle, or they'll
Yeah.
do like an ice cream sundae or something like that. What would be your go-to for a summer dessert?
If I say it would be the trifle for some dessert. I don't actually quite like mousses. Um, and I'm not opposed to just buying a packet one. I can make them as well. I mean, to make a mousse is actually just a couple of ingredients. It's essentially just another way of making ganache. But
Yeah.
um, I don't mind those. I mean, I've got to be careful with being diabetic. I've got to be. One of my favourite ones is tiramisu. Now I
Oh,
love tiramisu.
I'm like a good tiramisu myself. What do you use the masala cooking wine through it?
No, so I just do mine with I make sure I've got some really nice coffee
Yeah.
for it, and then I just get the pot of fingers. Sometimes if I haven't got that, I know it's not traditional tiramisu, and I'm going to upset Italians everywhere. But if I've got like, especially when it was work, if I had cake left, I would just use the cake, just to get rid of it. But for me, the tiramisu, it's all about two things: the coffee,
Yeah.
and the cream.
Oh no, you're 100% right. So when I do my tiramisu, I actually stole the recipe. Let's just say, yeah, I didn't come up with it. I stole it from the guy that taught Jimmy Oliver, Gino, the old guy. I watched a video that he done during lockdown where he made tiramisu and he was using the masala cooking wine and everything, and I was just like, oh yeah, no, I'm doing that. I'm taking that. So nice. At the end of it, it was so nice. I was just, I'm glad I stole that. See,
Yeah, it's
unlike you, I won't cause an international incident.
yeah. I know. I already had that the other day when I posted me pizza on Facebook. Some Italian was appalled that I used mozzarella and cheddar for the cheese on the top.
Look, let's be completely honest. I watched your video where you made the pomodoro sauce, and I was sitting there. The first thing that going through my head was, "All right, Marco, are you getting? Did you get an endorsement from like Nor that I don't know about?"
I wish. My God, I've been to the I've been to the centres that who it's called Unilever, and they own No.
Yeah.
And this facilities are absolutely state of the art. I went there for competitions, so they hold cooking competitions. And my God, if I could get an endorsement from Noah, I'd be jumping for joy.
Oh yeah, I just sat there, and the amount of times that you put stock through it, I was like, "Well, somebody watched Marco Pierre White's videos."
I did. I definitely stole that from Marco, but I agree with his whole thing about stocks. Like stock cubes just improve everything taste wise.
I know, I do agree with a lot of it, but I was just sitting there going, "You've just created an international incident."
Oh yeah,
And here we are,
anybody watching my lasagna video is going to be more upset than the pizza.
and I was sitting there going, "And here we have to do a fucking podcast." Sorry, excuse me. I'll try to watch the language, but here we go. And we have to do a podcast. See if I wake up with a horse head in my bed. That's all on you.
So with like dessert, I mean, we're talking about like Sundays. What would be a go-to Sunday for you?
It sort of depends dessert wise, because sometimes I might, if I'm in the mood, I'll make a good traditional apple tart, or I can just go as, and this is such a very Irish thing. It might even be a UK thing, but I always remember growing up, and in fact, there's a video if you watch it from a WWE wrestler, Becky Lynch, where it was like your last meal, and her dessert was my dessert. Like as a kid growing up, it was just jelly and ice cream, and I was sitting there going, I could go for some jelly and ice cream now.
I've actually seen jelly and ice cream sundaes before on like menus and stuff. So you know, like they've basically just like took jelly and cut them into little tiny cubes,
Yeah,
and they've just put a spin on a classic UK dessert, isn't it? Jelly and cream, whichever cream you have with it. But yeah, it had jelly in it, had different little bits, and it kind of looked like a Knickerbocker Glory without the fruit. And it
well,
was just all layered up, and it had all like fresh strawberries in it, and and it looked really nice. The one I saw.
traditionally the one we served here over in Ireland was just you get is it Robinsons or is it
Hartley's.
or Hartley's? Yeah, so you take the Hartley's, you set that overnight, and then we just served it with some like vanilla or raspberry ripple ice cream. Just
Mm.
that's it. That
Yeah,
was it. Growing up, that's what I lived on a Sunday dessert. Now, as I grew up, I'm like apple crumble, apple tart, Knickerbocker Glory, trifle. I was sitting thinking one day I should maybe try and do the Friends trifle, but I'm sitting there going, I don't think I can get past the meat portion.
yeah, I can't. And he actually ate that as well. He was on the thing. I couldn't have ate that. But yeah, for like ice cream sundaes, I think mine would be the Knickerbocker Glory. That would be my go-to.
It's hard to beat a Knickerbocker Glory, to be honest. Sometimes I'm even just happy with like apple crumble and custard.
I tell you something. I am gonna, especially now the weather's got warmer, and I had this in America. So I want to try and make it again. Is their banana pudding? So I am gonna look up a recipe, but from tasting it, it just, and I've heard that like our friend Kim, she raved about it as well, and I tried it and it was nice. But I tell you what, just tasted it. It just seemed like it was fresh banana
Yeah.
and like some regular sponge cake that had been ripped apart into chunks, mixed with Angel Delight. Now, I don't think they know what Angel Delight is over there, but if I could tell them, I'd be like, well, it's the mousse from your banana pudding. That's what it would be like. So I am going to have a go at making banana pudding, but that way I'm going to not look up a recipe unless I have to. But I'm very certain that their banana pudding is basically just banana Angel Delight and bananas and like sponge cake all mixed together.
Would their pudding, or well, their banana pudding, would that not be vanilla? Like vanilla, maybe Angel Delight?
No, it was definitely a banana mousse. It definitely
Right.
had. I mean, it had fresh bread, but it had banana and everything. I mean, even the cake could have been like banana bread that they use. That's what I'm saying. I'm resisting the temptation to look for a recipe because I want to just see if I can have a go and figure it out. So I'm only going to get a recipe if I absolutely have to. But I'm
Well,
pretty
yeah.
certain that was the recipe.
I'll be completely honest. I'm willing to put money on that it's vanilla. So we'll see.
Well, I mean, it depends on. I mean, the place we got it from was from Grand Central, and the mousse was definitely banana. The one I had, because the first spoonful I got was just the mousse. I didn't actually realise there was sponge and fresh banana in it. And when I was told it was banana pudding, I thought our chocolate mousse is like they call chocolate pudding, and it was definitely a banana mousse. At least on the one I got. That was my
Well,
first clue, but
you,
it's the cake part I'm not so sure about. But
see, it could be what they call lady fingers, but we call Victoria sponge. Could be something like that. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to know.
But yeah, I'm just going to give it a go, taste it, and if I think this is crap, it's not right, then I'm going to look up a recipe. I'll see if I can actually look up the recipe of the one I had in America.
Well, I'll definitely wait and see how that one turns out because that one it does sound good. I think one of the desserts that I really want to try and do. See, another dessert I would really do. I would do no bake cheesecakes as well. So I've done a few of those.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm actually doing them not this week, but the week after. I'm doing cheesecakes.
are you doing a non-bake one and a baked one?
Non-bake. No, so I'm doing. I've got a. I mean, I've got lists of videos to take me over the next 18 months of stuff to do, but I've got all different ones on. I've got a baked one on my list, but I got these. You know when you get a proper cake pan with
Yeah,
the one with the loose bottom with the clip on the side.
yeah.
I got a set of 4 of them, but really mini ones, so they're only about 5 centimeters. So I can make like an individual cheesecake, but it looks like a whole cheesecake, but mini. So I thought
I've
when I
seen those.
do that, yeah, and I thought when I do that, I can just do one mix, separate it, and then do 4 different variants of cheesecakes.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, when I've done some cheesecakes, what I tend to kind of do with the mascarpone cream cheese is I'll throw a wee bit of that masala wine through it.
Mm.
It's really nice, like the same way you would just do with the tiramisu. But I would just throw that through. It adds so much depth to the dessert. So
Yeah.
if you get it, it's nice.
Yeah, I mean, what was the other? You mentioned another dessert to me the other day when we were talking about it. Eating mess.
Oh yeah, the eating mess.
Yeah, which is another classic dessert, especially for summertime, and especially now as well. There's so many different variations of eating mess now.
I've it's one that I was starting. I should try to make because I've seen it and it's so easy done. But
Mm.
when I get down to sit and will myself to make it, I'm just like, nah, I couldn't be bothered. But yeah, it's so easy when you've realize how actually easy it is, it's unreal.
Yeah. Will you actually hand make the meringues and do the test and hold the bowl over your head and risk it tipping all over?
See, that's the part that's always put me off. I I would definitely do that, but I'm just like, no, no.
I am actually thinking about doing some of my own ice creams. Like, you know, the soft serve ice cream, the Mr. Whippy
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So you could buy the carton. I mean, that it always comes from a carton, and it just goes in the churn, and you know that's how we get the ice cream that we all know. But you can buy those on Amazon, and they're not expensive. Now, I haven't got an ice cream machine, but I do have a stand mixer. So I can do it on that if just using salt and ice around the bowl gives it the chemical reaction to make ice cream. So I was thinking about getting those and just making. You can get like I'll give you a litre, and of course you get a litre ice cream, and then just getting different things to make the fillings to go in them. So I could make a raspberry ripple, or I could get like I don't know crunchies and bash them up and mix them in. I've got a honeycomb ice cream and.
Oh, there you go. That sounds like a good idea, actually.
So yeah, I was thinking about doing that and trying some different ice cream, doing it that way. But I thought it was a good because I don't want to have to go out and pay for an ice cream machine just for get one use out of it. So I thought, well, I'll buy the carton and just know the hack that I know with ice and salt. And
Oh yeah, no, that's a good hack.
I thought that'd be if it turns out well. I thought I can just do that all the time and make my own little ice creams. Like you know, say you can do the honeycomb one. I could get some. I like to make my own peanut brittle, so I could make that and make a peanut brittle ice cream.
See now, you've sort of tempted me because now I want to see how well you get on with it. And if it turns out good, I might try it myself.
Well, I am going to be doing. My dad's asked me a few times this. I am going to. I've moved the peanut brittle up in my list, so not this week on, but the week after I'm doing peanut brittle as well. Because the way I do peanut brittle, I got shown to do it a different way. But you don't have to boil the hell out the sugar in the water and everything. You just got to be very, very patient with it melting, and it always comes out really nice. It's not teeth breaking brittle like you get on some of them.
I'm definitely up to try that one.
And I actually like using cashew nuts in my brittle. A cashew nut peanut brittle is really, really nice.
See, I would always thought hazelnuts would have been a nice one.
Yeah, I mean, I remember in America they do, you know, the vendors that you see on the streets and stuff.
Yeah.
They always had like, I think they call it candied rather than brittle, but kind of. But I remember getting a bag where it was mixed, so they had all different types on, and in that there was some hazelnuts, and that was quite nice. But yeah,
Let's definitely give that one a go then. Next time I'm over in America.
yeah, I say I got them just off there. It just seemed like after every hot dog one, or where you get the donuts and the bagels and everything, there always seemed to be a really smaller one. That smaller one was they only sold nuts, but they were all candied.
Oh, I know what I'm doing then the next time I go over to America.
So yeah, so right, I think that's gonna wrap that one up.
I think so. I mean, we'll probably go a little longer, but with that, since what we thought we'd do an hour one just to see, make sure there's any teething difficulties and make sure that one of us doesn't cause an international incident.
No, I'll do that on the second one.
So
when I put cream in my hair. in my carbonara.
Oh, don't make Gino De Campo come after you, you know.
He'd be coming after me, Fanculo.
I don't you worry. I've got a direct line, you know.
Hey, if Marco can do it, then so can I. That's my that's my get out clause.
Well, I mean, as long as you don't get me in baller, that's all right.
Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. We will be back next week. Don't forget to watch out for it. I will let you know in the community tab when it is going live, and I'll give you a couple of days notice heads up before we do. So, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.
See you later.